Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Village Board of Arlington Heights, and tonight is April 6, 2026. So our first order of business would be the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could all please rise and join the board. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. We have a couple of, we have a roll call first. Maggie?
Trustee Dunnington? Trustee Santa Maria?
Here.
Trustee Gilbert?
Here.
Trustee Manganaro?
Here.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Here.
Trustee LaBedz?
Here.
Trustee Zyck?
Here.
Trustee Bertucci?
Here.
President Tinaglia?
Here. Thank you, Maggie. We do have a handful of minutes to review tonight. The first one is from the March 16th, 2026 meeting minutes. Are there any questions or comments on those minutes from the board? Anyone who needs to pass?
I need to pass, Mayor.
Pass registered from Trustee Santa Maria. Anyone else? Are there any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Seeing none.
I would move approval of the March 16th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Schwingbeck, second by Trustee LaBedz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Next one is the closed session minutes from 12:15 of 25. Any further discussion on those? Is there a motion to
I'll move
approve?
approval of the closed session minutes of December 15th, 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee LaBedz, seconded by Trustee Zyck. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And the last one is the closed session minutes of 1/20/26. Any comments, questions, or a motion to approve?
I'll move approval of the closed session minutes of January 20th, 2026.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee LaBedz and seconded by Trustee Schwingbeck. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. On to item number 5, and that is the approval of the accounts payable. And that is the warrant register for 3/30/26. I'll call on Trustee Bertucci.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll move approval of the warrant register for the check date March 30th, 2026 in the amount of $4,411,523.76.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Bertucci, seconded by Trustee LaBedz. Any further discussion from anyone? Anyone in the audience? Comments or questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote. Maggie, please.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Santa Maria?
Yes.
Trustee Gilbert?
Yes.
Trustee Zyck?
Yes.
Trustee Manganaro?
Aye.
President Tinaglia?
Yes. And that motion carries. All right, very good. Item 6 is a communications that is going to be given to us from School District 21 regarding their health center. And Manager Reckloss, you want to introduce this?
Sure. I believe we have Cassandra Young here from District 21, and they want to talk about an innovative community program that they have going, and take the opportunity to share it with you all.
Wonderful.
Thank you and good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to present in front of the board today. My name is Cassandra Young, and I am the Director of Communications and Community Engagement for School District 21. And with me is Superintendent Dr. Michael Conley, and he is going to present a piece on our school district and specifically our health center.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your precious meeting time to really have an opportunity to update you and to talk a little bit about something that we are extremely proud of in District 21 and are about to celebrate our second anniversary of being in operation, and that is our school-based health center. this is something that really would not have been possible without the really the support of our entire district community and leaders like yourselves who really have stood by us as we've kind of thought a little bit outside of the box in terms of how we are trying to meet the needs of our students. I just want to take a moment very quickly before I go into the presentation to just recognize that we have 3 members of our Board of Education that are in the audience this evening. Arlen Gould, who I know none of you know Arlen, but he is here today. Bill Harrison, and then our Board Vice President, Debbie McAtee. So what is a school-based health center? The school-based health center really is something that is provided for within federal code to provide healthcare services on a school site. It's somewhat related to a federally qualified health center, but as we learned very quickly as we were going through the process, a lot of different regulations. We entered into a partnership with Advocate Children's Hospital to operate our school-based health center for us. We contract with them, and they, as you can see in the slide, provide a fully staffed experience for our school-based health center. And then obviously members of our district team work very closely with them to try and make sure that we are meeting all of the needs of our students and families. So again, our school-based health center provides access, which is really a challenge for many of our families, is to be able to access basic health care. And so our school-based health center provides access to that high-quality medical and mental health care to both our staff and our students. And our aim is to really improve the health and well-being of our students and staff and reduce the barriers that they may encounter to really provide just that much better of an opportunity for them to excel academically. We know that students that are do better in school. And so to really be able to provide that kind of service, we know will ultimately improve their experience in school and help them perform academically and social emotionally just that much better. So I wanted to take a moment. We have a short video to kind of give you a virtual tour of our health center. My name is Dr. Michael Connolly. I'm superintendent here in Wheeling Community Consolidated School District 21. I think we're known for our diversity and our commitment to taking care of the whole child. You know, we're not just a school district that kids come to in the morning and leave in the afternoon, right? We really do try and provide that whole service model to our students. We want to make sure that they are social and emotionally supported, that their health is supported, that we're able to provide wraparound services for students that may need additional support outside of the classroom. And I think that that commitment to being really a community-based school district is something that more and more we're becoming known for. The school-based health center is really kind of the crown jewel of our community service and administrative center. And we opened up in May of 2024, and over the course of the summer saw 700 students, and we're able to meet their needs from immunizations to back to school physicals to just regular, I've got, you know, the flu. We have 4 exam rooms that patients can be seen in. We have 2 treatment rooms, therapy rooms, because we also provide mental health services for our students through the health center here. We've got a consultation room, a staff work area, a conference room. We even have a lab. Honestly, the ability to bring something like this to our community was, for me, one of the non-negotiables when we even started to consider the idea of opening up a community service and administrative center in the district. It really was a cornerstone. And the reason being is because we know that when students are healthy and coming to school not having to worry about having an untreated illness or just not having immediate access to health care, that they do better, that they are more attentive in class, that they actually achieve their potential to a much greater extent than if they're coming to school sick. And we also know within our community the barriers that exist to being able to access basic health care. And so because we are really focused on being a community service model within our school district, it just made sense to be able to provide that level of access to our students and their families. And so it really, from our perspective, is just something that down the line, and even now, is just going to make it so much easier for our students to grow and be successful. So again, we want to make sure that all of our students are able to access the health center. It is open when our schools are open. And so all of our staff and students are eligible to be seen. We actually do also provide transportation that is available between the hours of 9 and 2. We have a dedicated fleet of some smaller school buses that are able to shuttle students back and forth to the health center. We do have abilities for parents to make appointments, but then also if we've got one of our little friends that come in and they're just not doing real well, feeling a little under the weather, our school nurses can really kind of see, this might be something we might want to have you kind of go over and get checked out. Maybe you might be coming down with strep or some other kind of illness. And we get in contact with parents. A lot of times parents will come and pick the student up and take them and then bring them back, or they can meet them over and we will get the child over to the health center. What we've also found is that a lot of times when students are brave and go on their own, they sometimes do better than if their parents are there with them. But again, that is entirely up to the parent. But the whole point is to really be able to kind of have that point of care where we can determine what's going on with the student, get them what kind of meds they may need, or they're just having an off day. They can get back to class and really just not have to have that family worry about needing to get to an immediate care or to try and get into their primary care physician if they have a primary care physician, and potentially miss more school as a result of that. So again, we have a wide array of just kind of basic medical services that are offered. We do our sports and schools physicals. We all know that a lot of that back to school stuff comes up and can be very challenging for families to be able to try and get through. We do have the ability to immunize. And then again, we can test for strep, for cough and cold, ear infections, eye infections, just, your kind of basic medical things that students are going to encounter. And then also, there is a social worker on staff within the health center so that if a student is encountering some mental health concerns, there are some resources through that as well. So again, we've seen some fantastic benefit in the coming up on 2 years that our school-based health center has been in operation. And it really has been something that I think has been a game changer for many of our families. We really are very proud of the level of support that we have been able to kind of form with this school-based health center. And I really have to say that this has really been made possible because of the community support that we've had. We were able to kind of get things started. We secured a $1 million grant from a family foundation, an anonymous family foundation. And we also received funding through Congressman Brad Schneider through community project funding. And that really gave us the funding to actually build out and equip the healthcare center itself. And it really is just something that we look forward to over the next several years to just continuing to build the model and to provide that level of care. I wanted to give just a quick snapshot of kind of the impact over the first 2 years of operation. We've had just under 4,000 total visits in 2 years to our health center. That's 3,200 student visits, just under 800 staff visits, and then just under 2,800 medical visits with just under 1,000 mental health visits. The volumes, as you can see, really kind of pick up in that period of time that you would expect them to, right? In the fall, when kind of cold and flu season starts to really pop up. Obviously, during the summer, we see a big spike, and that's when students are getting their back to school physicals and immunizations and things that they can access through very quickly and be able to not have to worry about not having everything they need done to be able to start the school year. And again, this is just more of a breakdown of the types of kind of visits that we've seen, the school and sports physicals, the sick visits, vaccinations. That is something that really has been amazingly successful for us insofar as in the state of Illinois. October 15th rolls around, and if you do not have your immunizations and have not been excused from those immunizations for a specific reason, you're excluded from school. And so to be able to have contact with parents and say, hey, listen, we can get the immunization done right now. and then we don't have to worry about any lapse in attendance. That has been, a game changer for us in terms of our ability of students to continue. I think that one of the biggest impacts is, kind of personified by this impact story where we had a 9-year-old student who was just having some issues with urinary incontinence, was having some accidents at school. The family had really just felt hopeless, had really tried through multiple different providers and doctor's visits to really trying to determine what was happening. The child was just struggling socially and emotionally, as you can imagine. And our ability to then kind of wrap around support through the health center and kind of coordinate care really gave that family just kind of an ability to try and approach it from a lot of different angles. Sometimes when we're in the healthcare system, the different disciplines don't necessarily talk well to each other. And so to be able to have that kind of one point of care and really be able to have somebody kind of take over that case management for this student really helped insofar as the symptoms significantly improved. The child's social engagement and confidence really just skyrocketed, and overall the stress of the family reduced. So it's something that went far beyond just getting the school physical done. It was really something that we were able to open up some doors for a very real childhood illness that can be experienced. And again, this is kind of proof in the pudding. Some of the comments that we've gotten from our parents that really feel like this is just such a wonderful resource for them to be able to access. I can tell you that in the summer, we have a new executive director of HR who started with us last summer, and he just happened to be down at reception, and a parent was coming out of the health center with their child and saw that he had a name tag on and stopped him and just really was just like, you have no idea how much this helps my family. This is just, again, I've used the word game changer quite a few times, but it's just a game changer for us. And this is the first time I'm not stressing out about getting everything done before school starts. And so I think right there just gives us the reason that we're doing this and how we're dedicated to continuing that experience. Again, I talked a little bit about the funding. The contract that we have with Advocate and the cost to operate is between $425,000 and $475,000 a year. We have received, again, not just the grant from the Family Foundation, which gave us several years of operating, but then also we have received some other grants from the Illinois Department of Public Health. We are always looking at additional grant opportunities, but we're also really starting to pivot. So for the future years, really trying to build some of those relationships with other foundations, corporate sponsorships that might be available. We really feel very strongly that this is something that, from a community perspective, is worthy of investment. And so as we are moving into our third year of operation, are really looking forward to building those bridges. And that's where the support of all of our communities and you as community leaders will help us. A lot of times, particularly when you're going for foundation grants or for grants coming through the state or federal governments, it's nice to be able to show that you've got some support, that this isn't just something that you're kind of off doing on your own, and that it's having a good impact in the community. So that's really why one of the main reasons we wanted to come tonight, to kind of give you an update as to how things are going, and just let you know that we might circle on back if we need a little vote of confidence as we're moving into a new funding relationship or to trying to secure some grant funding down the line, because we feel very strongly about the continuation of this for many years to come. So we are going to have our initial first golf outing fundraiser in June. I don't know, Cass, if you wanted to talk just a little bit about the details of that. I don't want to go over time, but we really appreciate the ability to be here and provide some of this information. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have as well. The golf outing, you want to give some details?
The golf outing is going to be on June 17th at Chevy Chase. We're looking for golfers, we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for gift prizes to raffle off.
It'll be a lot of fun. I think golf outings are always nice to be able to kind of come together and do some celebrating of some good work. So any questions that I can answer for you?
Anyone from the board, questions for Trustee LaBedz.
I have a question. In your example of the 9-year-old child, it mentioned insurance. So do you, if a parent or family has insurance, do you file for their insurance? Do they file? I mean, how does that play into the upkeep of the
Right.
clinic?
So currently, we do not file for insurance. Now, any family that might have insurance that then needs to see a specialist, either through the advocate system or whatever the case may be, at that point, they would start taking insurance. But the initial kind of consultation, the visit, the work that is being done in the health center, that we don't take insurance. It is just part of the operating costs of the health center.
Okay, well, it's a pretty fantastic facility, so I can just imagine how thankful your community is for it, and thank you for doing this, because it's pretty innovative for the area.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Anyone else? Trustee Santa Maria.
Sure, just wanted to echo Trustee LaBedz and say thank you so much for having this in the school system. It's very innovative, one of a kind. You should be very proud. You and the whole Board of Education, it's just so impactful that you can do that. I know when my kid is sick at school, having to leave work, pick them up, go to the doctor, try to get an appointment, come back, where this just doesn't interrupt the school day. How many days of education would you say you've saved by having this?
Oh, that's a very good question. Hard to quantify, for sure. And obviously, as we know, absence in general is a great challenge for all schools across the nation. So I wouldn't want to hazard too much of an educated guess, but if you figure that illness, takes 1 to 2 days off of a student's experience, and we've had almost 3,000 student visits, I think you can probably fairly confidently say that we've got a good, 1 to 2,000 days of school that have been regained because students didn't have to be out for several days for an illness.
That's awesome. So thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'm
Anyone
going to
else?
leave, sorry. I'm going to leave the flyer, the golf outing flyer on this back table if anyone is interested.
Very good, thank you. Trustee Gilbert.
This is absolutely awesome. That is all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Well, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much
to
for
the
the
whole
time.
board for being here. It's great support, and this is great information for all of us to know and share, so
Thank you.
Job
Stop
well
by
done.
anytime. Love to take you around. So
Very
thank
good.
you very much.
thank you. Okay, so we do not have any public hearings tonight, but we have a handful of blue cards under citizens to be heard, and I'll call on them next. I don't believe any of these are on agenda items. If they happen to be on an agenda item, please let me know, and we'll wait for you to come up a different time. But I have Robert. Robert, what's the last name? Schmidt. Robert, come on up.
My name is Robert Schmidt. My son goes to Dryden, and I have had a number of experiences where people have pulled out in front of me as I'm turning left from Central to go on to Dryden. I just had one just the other day. It's happened almost too many times to where I can count. And then you also have people from the moorings where they literally go on to oncoming traffic to avoid me from turning left into from Central to Dryden. That's even more dangerous. So I've been wondering for some time now to talk to you guys about the possibility of erecting a stoplight there. Because it's only a matter of time for some serious accident there happens, especially with people pulling out of the moorings to drive into oncoming traffic to avoid people turning left onto Dryden.
Okay, well, Robert, I know that village manager has heard your commentary, and our staff can take that into consideration. And if you want to have a conversation with one of them directly, there's something called a warrant.
Okay.
Manager Recklouse, can you explain
Yeah,
how that's determined?
essentially, there's certain criteria that have to be met for a stoplight or a stop sign even. to be placed. And I do believe as part of the moorings last submittal, there was some of that work done to look at that location. I believe, we'll have to look in our records and see, but I want to say that when the moorings did their last expansion, that's something that was being examined.
Well, I just want to let you know that I've even had a bus pull out in front of me.
Yeah.
So there's that happened as well.
Sure. No, and like I said, there's a process for that. I think it's being looked at as part of the expansion, but no, appreciate you bringing it to our attention. It's something we'll certainly discuss.
Yeah, so, all right.
Thank you, Robert.
Yep.
Next is Norbert Petrowski.
My name is Norbert Piotrowski, and I live at 211 North Dwyer Avenue in Arlington Heights, Illinois. I thank the mayor, board of trustees, and staff of Arlington Heights here for this opportunity to speak on the issue tonight. And the issue tonight is the Chicago Bears moving to Indiana. This is an email I sent out to many people. It was sent to the village board on February 26, 2026, and 50 other concerned people across the state. The Chicago Bears intrigue continues for 3 years. This is the first Springfield legislation committee meeting in 3 years with mixed results. The truth is that Springfield is in no hurry to fund a $150 million infrastructure bill for $5 billion mega stadium to bail out Chicago Bears and NFL billionaires. Besides, Governor Pritzker said he would not sign the bill because it's a private company. This bill would be a classic example that is DOA, dead on arrival in the General Assembly. The truth about this boondoggle project is that there never was a full, unbiased due diligence study done. It runs completely on highly emotional love the Bears fever, and no credible fiscal and environmental impact was done. We should hope it is good for Arlington Heights because everyone loves the Bears and impacts don't matter. Oh yeah. The village of Arlington Heights has hidden the true facts about this project, the worst and biggest project in Arlington Heights' 139-year history. They stonewalled the residents of Arlington Heights and continue to sell the citizens of Arlington Heights a bad deal. Be careful what you wish for. In effect, they fumbled the ball. The only salvation is when the Bears take the great offer they cannot refuse from Indiana and free Arlington Heights from this mega stadium albatross around our neck. Now that was a highly redacted email because I only got 3 minutes. Here's what I say tonight. I filed a Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, request to Arlington Heights. After a month, I found only one board report discussing that the board had hired Hungren Strategic Partners for $300,000 for the Chicago Bears report. It is very inflated as to benefits, little on downside. Separately, apparently AI, artificial intelligence, was not used to find that 300,000, that 80 to 90% of all mega stadium projects in the U.S. leave cities disappointed with regret. My point is the project had no due diligence performed, only one positive and little negative on other cities had run into across the United States. The board hired a consultant that told them what they wanted to hear, not what they should hear.
Norbert? Norbert? Wrap up, please.
Okay. How about a referendum to let the citizens of Arlington Heights decide this project? That's a heck of a way to run the village. I thank the board for all this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Norbert. I want you and anyone else who's listening or paying attention here, nothing has been decided, nothing is done. There's plenty of work to do. There'll be plenty of opportunity for residents and business owners in town to weigh in. Right now, as I understand it, it's all in the hands of Springfield and the Chicago Bears to decide where they're going to go and how it will be done. At some point, it may turn back into the hands of our community together to make decisions on what's right. So for the time being, it's a moot point. There's really nothing that we can do about it. Anything else that I should be referencing in their manager records?
No, obviously, the Bears have a decision to make on where they want to go, and that a lot of that has to do with the state and different conversations that are being had. But ultimately, a decision of whether they would be approved to be in Arlington Heights rests with the village board. And a lot, as you noted, Mayor, a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of data has to be consumed before the board would be making that decision.
Very good. Thank you.
Mayor, if I could just add too that the studies that are being thrown around and mentioned have not been complete because the so-called pencils were put down, so to speak, when this whole state matter came into play. So those traffic studies, those fiscal economic impact studies, so on and so forth, have not even been finished and completed to the sense that they've been brought to our attention and made public. Both, Manager Recklouse, both those that the Bears are going to do and that we're going to do, they're not completed to final draft.
Correct. There'll have to be additional traffic study work done for sure before anything would be brought before the board formally.
Yeah. So rest assured that there's a lot of rumors out there, and that we haven't even gotten to the point where the board has even been asked any questions or shown anything specific.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we're going to move on. The next speaker is Richard Hamlin. Come on up, Richard.
Hello, thank you. My name is Rich Hamlin. I live at 2406 East Northwood Court in Arlington Heights here, in Arlington Terrace. I'm here tonight to talk about the flooding issues. I know we're all flooding right now with all these rains all over the place. However, this is every year this happens, once in the spring, once in the fall, standing water between Michael Manor and Northwood Court and what is that? Waterman. So from the corner, the water is supposed to flow from west to east, but from years of erosion, I believe it is, it's in the corner of Waterman, Michael Manor, and Northwood Court is a very low area, and the water is trapped there, and it can't flow east like it's supposed to. If it were my own property only flooding, I would say, okay, it's a me problem, but it's not. It's my neighbor to the left, my neighbor across the way. Everybody's flooding, and I need the village to step in. I brought this to the attention of the village last year. They sent someone out there to look. They said, well, there's really nothing we can really do on this. You can regrade it and do that, but I don't want to be that neighbor. I don't want to be the neighbor that regrades his and then it's everybody else's problem. I want to do it the right way, maybe get you guys to help me out. If we could grade it correctly, everybody's property, and get the water to flow where it needs to flow, so I'm not just pushing my problems on everyone else, that would be a great help.
All right. Well, Richard, thank you for bringing that to our attention. One of our Public Works directors is here tonight in the meeting, and I'm sure he heard every word you just said. And so my guess is that there's some follow-up that can happen on this, and make sure that you take Manager Recklause's business card and have continuing dialogue on this.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for bringing it up. Next is Ronald Stolberg. Ronald, come on up. Thank you. And I haven't said it every time, but I'll say it now. We try to keep these for three minutes each, so please, there's a little clock up there. Keep an eye on that as you go. Thank you, Ronald.
Yes, I've been living in this community practically all my life. I was born here. I used to have a plastic water bottle, but when I found out that the plastic water bottle was leaching chemicals into the water and possibly making me sick, hurting my health, I switched to stainless steel. I didn't try some other plastic that might not have it, because stainless steel has been around all my life. We cook in it. There's been no health problems unless you cut yourself or hit yourself with it. Now, Arlington Heights has got a lot of bad pipes. There are, worse than plastic, they are lead. And they are deteriorating and they're falling apart and they need to be replaced. Do not replace them with plastic that's not been around for 100 years that we know is safe. They told us the plastic bottle was safe. They told us to use the lead pipe, and now they're going to probably tell you to use plastic when we don't know. It's not been around. We should go with the best. Stainless steel has lasted the longest on my bike. It's lasted the longest in the kitchen. This is the best stuff you could use. If you're going to bury it somewhere where you can't get a hold of it to replace it, you should use the best. Stainless steel, not plastic. I mean, there are other options, but that have been around, like clay or cast iron, those would be okay, but not plastic. Thank you.
All right, Ronald, thank you for your concern. I appreciate that. You are aware that we're changing out all the lead services right now?
I saw them on Euclid. They were doing some stuff.
Yes.
But I did not see any metal pipes going in.
I guess I can't answer that part of the question, but it's the lead's going away. All right, I have a few more. Cheryl Brown.
Hello. Thank you very much. I'll be really quick. I gave everyone a packet about the updates for Elk Grove Village with the short-term rentals, what they just changed, and also the Skokie ordinances, just for your information. And if you do create a task force for this, I'd be happy to join in the task force and keep you updated for whatever I find out.
All right, well, thank you, Cheryl. I know you're an advocate for this. Does our village manager have your contact information clearly? Do you want to take his business card and make sure that we have that?
Okay, thank you.
If and when that happens, we'll get in contact with you. Next. Help me out here.
Indoors.
Okay. I'm going to just go with the address, 830 South Burton Place. Help me out with the spelling and how you pronounce your name, sir, please.
Is it going to come out of my 3 minutes?
You start now.
So it's Andriy Sklerenko, and you can call me Andy.
I was going to say that, Andy.
You're cool. Good guess.
Go ahead. Tell us what you would like. You got 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to read because I only have 3 minutes. So I'm a professional mechanical engineer who's had the experience of living internationally and have had the privilege to travel all over the world. Over the last 12 years plus, we've been a proud residents of Arlington Heights with our family of 2 young children who only know Arlington Heights as home. This is a special place. We know what we have, and we thank you all for your hard work in making it a special place and keeping it that way. It's the same thing that we want. We chose to move to this village intentionally after considering many areas across the country. We have lived in 3 different areas of the village in our time here, currently own 4 single-family homes in the village, 2 long-term rentals, and 1 short-term rental, which we have managed over 3 years now. I hold a realtor license in Illinois, and our family manages the properties personally. We pay a lot of taxes, which is fresh in my mind from last week, and appreciate all the services the village provides. I recently read about the new short-term rental ordinance in a news article by chance, and is still yet to see an official notice or publication from the village, yet the ordinance is pending implementation July 1st this year, right before Frontier Days, which is one of many popular events that brings back families into our community. So this is urgent, and we need time to understand and adjust. Our city currently has limited hotel availability, especially during peak events. Families traveling for weddings, funerals, and caregiving who need nearby space. Visitors seeking to stay within neighborhoods, not commercial corridors. Lost economic activity as guests stay in neighboring towns. Short-term rentals can be a thoughtfully and responsibly fill this gap. Community and economic impact increases spending at local restaurants, shops, and services. It creates permanent and tax revenue for the city. Supports local jobs, cleaning, maintenance, trades. Keeps tourism dollars within our community. We advocate and request a controlled low-risk pilot, a structured program that ensures balance, limited number of permits, annual registration and permit requirements, defined occupancy, parking limits, 6 to 12-month pilot with measurable review. We advocate for accountability, neighborhood protections, strict no-party policies, quiet hours, local contact available for immediate response, complaint-based enforcement, warning, fine, permit revocation, optional safeguards, etc. Policies requiring 30-plus day minimum stays may unintentionally create greater risk. Longer stays establish tenant rights, making removal difficult if issues arise. reduced turnover limits, oversight responsiveness, increased risk of non-paying occupants, extended disputes. Well-regulated short-term rentals offer greater control, transparency, and protection for both homeowners and the community. Regulation provides the city with visibility, oversight, encourages responsible, accountable hosting, prevents unregulated and underground rental activity, aligns with proven approaches used across many municipalities. In closing, this proposal is not about increasing disruption. It's about creating a measured, well-managed system that supports families during important life moments, local businesses, and economic vitality, homeowners contributing responsibly to their own community. A pilot program allows our city to explore the opportunity with minimal risk and clear measurable outcomes. I'd like the village and the commission to consider the decision that was made. I'd like to understand what the reasoning was behind it, and I'd like to be involved with what direction my hometown takes. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate your information there very much. I have two last cards here, and one is Davin Gray, or is it Devin? Devin Gray?
Good evening, Board. I appreciate your time. You may recognize me from the room next door a few moments ago. I live here in the community, as I've mentioned before. I live just a few blocks away, and I'd first like to say, really appreciate everything that the last resident said. I think that there's a lot of opinions, a lot of perspectives on this matter that have been overlooked. Overall, there's a few things at play here, right? We all want a community where we have less crime and we have more economic impact, right? We talked about various commissions involved in those very things this evening. I believe that currently we are overestimating the amount of crime that's taking place in these Airbnbs, and I provided to you a report that shows there's 2 properties in town over the last 3+ years that have had any criminal complaints against them. I have gone through and listened to some of the complaints in other village board and committee of the whole meeting, so I've included 2 additional properties on that list, bringing the total to 4. But again, 2 have had criminal complaints against them. When you look at the criminal complaints against the 7 hotels in town, there are 1,675. 4, 1,675. I do have a master's in analytics, but you do not need one to understand that discrepancy. I think we are overreacting to these 4 incidents, and we should be listening very clearly to the residents that have had these problems. We should address those problems, and we should come up with solutions for them. As Andy just so eloquently pointed out, there are ways that we can regulate this. But I think we're also really underestimating the economic impact for us here. I've heard some numbers tossed around. I did some back-of-the-napkin math as well, and I checked with the policy team at Airbnb to confirm that math. Turns out my estimate's pretty short. The reality is that we could be facing as much as about $200,000 in revenue for the village of Arlington Heights if we were to implement the 5% hotel tax that we see at these other 7 properties that are so crime-ridden. $200,000. It's based on the 5%. Back into some numbers there, we're talking millions of dollars in bookings for this community, right? Well, what else does that mean? Airbnb's done the studies. In Chicago, when somebody spends $1 on an Airbnb, they spend another $3.50 in the community. Now, I recognize we don't have the geographic bounds of Chicago, so maybe we don't capture all of those dollars, but we are looking at literally millions of dollars in economic impact for our businesses that we're missing out on. Trustee Bertucci, in one of the recent meetings where we discussed video gaming, you talked about the fact that this village has a rich history of allowing gaming. We don't stop people from buying cigarettes in this town. We don't stop people from buying alcohol in this town. We don't stop people from buying marijuana in this town. We regulate it and we tax it. I believe we should do the same with short-term rentals, and I would strongly request that the board take some action here more immediately and perhaps form a task force that includes folks from both sides here to discuss this and come up with a great resolution for our village. Thank you.
Thanks, Devin. Appreciate your input. Last card is Philip Atterbury.
Hi, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and this evening. My name is Phil Atterbury. I work with a company called Brightside that's been working with the Arlington Heights Police Department for almost 8 years and helping people overcome opioid use disorder or opioid addiction. We've provided free treatment through a grant and working with your police department. The reason why I'm here tonight is because I've been doing this for almost over 10 years. I've seen fentanyl. I've seen them all come through. I've never once seen an opioid be sold at a local store. Tonight, I went down the street, picked up something called 7-OH. 7-OH is 13 times more potent than morphine, yet is not scheduled currently on the list of illegal drugs. Other towns, such as Schwingbeck and several other towns, have actually banned the sale of this product. I'm just asking tonight for potentially referendum to essentially ban the sale of 7-OH. If you want, you can look it up. You'll find the exact same. I'm not talking about kratom. I'm not talking about marijuana or anything like that. This is literally something that just this month, last month, was brought to Congress. You can look it up, HR 8000, about making this a scheduled drug. And right now, you can buy this. This was $34. I've seen a 140% increase in the amount of people coming to our clinics to get treatment for this drug. And I just hope that maybe take
Well, Phillips, it's very enlightening. Appreciate your information on that.
Appreciate your time.
I would, go ahead.
We do have a business plan item to look at the regulation of some of these types of things. I will make sure that the group working on this includes this. They're going to be, between the Police Department, Health and Human Services, and the Village Manager's Office, that's something they're going to be working on kind of beginning the second quarter of 2026. So it's something we're very much working on, and I will include that in the mix.
Thank you so much, because I see a lot of people that suffer from this, and just it's really, really scary how fast this has grown in just literally 6 months. They hand it out. I've heard of some stories where people dress up in funny outfits and give it out for free. So thank you.
That's really something. Thanks, Philip. I have no further blue cards. Is there anyone in the audience that we're overlooking here that would like a chance to address the board? Nobody? Okay. Then we're going to go on to the consent agenda. And the consent agenda tonight has items A through N, and I think I want to call on Trustee Zyck right away really quick on this.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I would like to pass on voting on item B, and I would also like to pull out item 11, or M, excuse me.
Okay, so item N will be removed, and you'll be registered as a pass for item B. Are there any other comments or questions on
M as in
any
Michael
items?
or N as in Nancy?
M as in Michael.
M as in
M
Michael.
as in Michael.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other? Is there anyone else that wants to register a vote no or pass on any item on the consent agenda? Is there anyone in the audience that would like a trustee to remove an item on the consent agenda for discussion? Seeing none, this will be one roll call vote. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda minus item M.
Motion made by trustee LaBedz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Santa Maria. And I think this is a roll call vote. Maggie?
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Santa Maria?
Yes.
Trustee Manganaro?
Aye.
Trustee Gilbert?
Yes.
Trustee Zyck?
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
President Tinaglia?
Yes. Okay, so all the remaining of those items are approved. And let's go ahead as we can right now and take up item M. I'll hand the floor off to trustee Zyck.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one of those items I just want to bring up. The item is called Resolution to Approve an Agreement, ILETSB Camera Grant, and it's through the Police Department. You know, our Police Department does a fantastic job of securing us and giving us security and everything that they do in protecting us. They're also doing a lot of things too financially too to make sure that we're on the right track and we're fiscally responsible. This is an item where there is an unfunded mandate for the purchasing of different cameras. And Manager Recklouse, if I'm saying any of this wrong, please correct me. Where we have to pay for these type of items. Well, our department went out and got a grant in the amount of $317,092.51. And I just wanted to bring this attention because we're doing some great things financially and being fiscally responsible in this village. And actually, I think next week we're going to be talking some of the issues or consequences of some of those good things that we've been doing. And so I just wanted to bring it up to everybody's attention. and thank the police force for what they're trying to do. And Manager Reckles, I don't know if you have any other more details on it and how we go about doing that, but I just want to thank them for everything that they're doing and being, not just protecting us, but also being fiscally responsible.
Manager Reckles?
No, just going to echo what Trustee Zyck said. Our police department, all of our departments work very hard to get outside grants when we can to lessen the burden on the taxpayer. This is a great example where we have a 5-year, $3.2 million contract with Axon for our body-worn cameras, related hardware, and storage. And the storage is one of the most expensive parts because you have to keep these records for a very long period because they're public records. And so they were able to be very aggressive looking at grants under every rock, and the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board offered a grant, and they were able to get secure $317,000. So it doesn't pay for the whole thing, but every little bit helps. So we'll keep trying.
Well, thank you, Trustee Zyck, for bringing that up. It's a good point to make so everybody can know about it. Trustee LaBedz and I were here when this whole thing came about as a required unfunded mandate that police officers wear, and we keep records for all of this stuff. And it was a big question mark. How are we going to pay for it all? So these kinds of things do make a difference. Thanks for pointing it out.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess we need a motion to approve that.
I will make a motion to approve item M.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Zyck and seconded by Trustee Manganaro. Any further discussion, questions? If not, this is a voice vote again, right?
Roll call. I just do roll call.
That's what I meant to say, a roll call vote, yeah.
Trustee Zyck?
Yes.
Trustee Manganaro?
Aye.
Trustee Gilbert?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Santa Maria?
Yes.
President Tinaglia?
Yes, okay, and that is completed. So now we're going to move on to the new business, and we have 4 items here on here. The first one, maybe what I ought to do really quick is under item C, the liquor license application was approved, so you are good to go with the Garibaldis. Moving on to new business again, the appointment of Zyck Mature to the Economic Alliance with a term ending of April 30th, 2029. Who made the motion on that?
That was me.
I'm going to call on Trustee LaBedz.
Thank you. I move now, as I did earlier today, to concur in the mayor's appointment of Zyck Mature to the Arlington Economic Alliance with a term ending April 30th, 2029. Long way off.
Second.
Second was Trustee Bertucci, motion made by Trustee LaBedz. Is there any comments or questions for anyone on the board or in the audience? All in favor say aye.
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 And none opposed? Fabulous. All right. V, come on up to the podium. If you would please raise your right hand, I'm going to read you your oath to take, and we'll have you sworn in here. So say aye.
I,
Zyck Mature.
Zyck Mature,
Having been appointed to the Arlington Economic Alliance
having been appointed to the Arlington Economic Alliance
in the Village of Arlington Heights,
in the Village of Arlington Heights,
the County of Cook,
in the County of Cook,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office according to the best of my ability.
of the office according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. You're a partner.
Thank you.
Come on up. Yes. This is a pin that you can wear proudly like the rest of us all do as a part of our entire village board and all the commissions that we represent. Welcome aboard. If you wouldn't please take that over to the village clerk and sign, and we're all set to go. Thank you, V. The next item is in a similar manner, the appointment of Martin Bauer to the Housing Commission with a term ending April 30th, 2027. And for that, I will call on Trustee Bertucci.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll move to concur in your appointment, the mayor's appointment of Martin Bauer to the Housing Commission with a term ending April 30th, 2027.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Bertucci and seconded by trustee LaBedz. Any further discussion or commentary from the board? Anyone in the audience? If not, Martin, come on up to the podium. It's your turn.
We have to vote.
You have to vote.
Oh, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Nay.
There are two. Okay, we've got that. Martin, raise your right hand. I, Martin Bauer,
I, Martin Bauer,
having been appointed to the Housing Commission
having been appointed to the Housing Commission
in the Village of Arlington Heights,
in the Village of Arlington Heights,
in the County of Cook,
in the County of Cook,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office according to the best of my ability.
of the office according to the best of my ability.
I know that you will. Congratulations. And like for V, this is your pin to wear proudly, like all the other commissioners and all the village board members here. If you'd have that signed by our clerk, would be great.
Very good.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
All right. Item C on our new business is 1515 South Douglas Avenue. Call on Manager Recklaus. Want to give us an update, or are you going to hand it off?
Ms. Rodman's going to handle this one.
Mrs. Rodman, of course.
All right, good evening. Before you this evening is a request for a rezoning, preliminary plat of subdivision, and 2 variances for the M. Seraphin subdivision. The property in question is located at 1515 South Douglas Avenue. It is the red box you see on the screen there. The property is 38,500 square feet, and it's currently zoned R1, our single-family zoning district. The comprehensive plan does designate the property for continued single-family detached use. And the zoning request before you this evening is for rezoning from the R1 family dwelling district to the denser R3 one family dwelling district, as well as approval of the preliminary plat of subdivision to create 2 residential lots and 1 outlot for detention purposes. And then there are 2 variations before you, although they are essentially requesting the same thing. One of the variations is from Chapter 28, that's our zoning ordinance, requesting a reduction in the minimum lot size from the minimum lot width from 70 feet to 60 feet for Lot 3, the stormwater detention outlot. And that second variation is from Chapter 29, which is our subdivision ordinance, and that is requesting a similar variation to reduce the required lot width from 70 feet to 60 feet. As I mentioned, the current zoning is R1. You can see the adjacent zoning is similar residential uses. To the west and south, we have R3 and R1 single-family districts. To the east is the village of Mount Prospect. There's also single-family zoning in that village as well, adjacent to the property. The proposed zoning is R3, so it is consistent with the surrounding uses. And this is the preliminary plat of subdivision that was considered by the Plan Commission. You can see at the north, that is Lot 1, and then Lot 2 in the middle. Those will be single-family homes, and then Outlot 3 is the proposed detention outlot, where the lot width reduction is requested to the 60 feet. This is a little difficult to see on this screen, I apologize, but this is the conceptual plan that the petitioner has presented. You can see there are the 2 homes and then the detention outlot. The home to the north right now is completely conceptual in nature. It's just being shown to give you an idea of what a possible footprint could be for that home. The home in the middle is an existing home with proposed building additions. There are some public improvements that are being required as part of this proposed subdivision. Those include widening the pavement adjacent to the property. I believe that's Douglas Avenue, adding curb and gutter, adding some landscaping in accordance with our subdivision regulations. Those would be street trees, and then installing a 5-foot sidewalk. This is a picture of the street view from today from Google, where you can see this is looking from the south north, the property in question's to the right, and you can see that the adjacent property to the south has already includes a sidewalk. You can see the street is a little bit wider there. So the proposed public improvements that are being required for this subdivision will be continuing those existing improvements north. So there will be consistency. And as you can see on the west side of the street, those improvements already exist. This is an engineering plan, so I understand it might be a little challenging for some of you to follow. This is the stormwater management plan. So I have highlighted on this plan in yellow the route that the stormwater is going to follow for this subdivision. It does drain to the south, so you can see there is that inlet at the southeast corner of Lot 1. It will travel along the eastern portion of Lot 2 and then into the stormwater basin to the south, and then there is also an inlet that then connects to the village's existing storm sewer in the South Douglas right-of-way. This is another depiction of just that stormwater basin. There was some extensive discussion at the Plan Commission meeting. There were several residents that attended the meeting and provided some commentary on the landscaping of the proposed landscaping for the basin. There are no current landscaping plans. That is not required for preliminary subdivision, but the residents' request and the request of the Plan Commission was that we not include natural plantings in the detention basin, and that it be a dry bottom basin, ideally with sod, something that could be easily maintained and mowed. I should mention that this detention basin, while being constructed by the developer, will be ultimately owned and maintained by the village. So the Department of Public Works would be maintaining this basin long term. The ultimate design and landscaping of the basin is going to be subject to MWRD requirements. So while we and the residents may have a preference that this be a dry bottom basin and that it not include natural plantings, ultimately we must follow the regulations of MWRD. So when they decide to move forward with final subdivision and are required to submit for permit from MWRD, the ultimate landscaping design will be determined as part of that, and then would be reviewed by the Plan Commission at that time. This is the picture of the home on Lot 2. This is the proposed building additions to that existing home. The home has already gone through the Design Commission. The building additions required Design Commission approval. The Design Commission did approve the changes to the home on Lot 2. The home on Lot 1, which again at this time has not been designed, would also require Design Commission approval. This is one of the additional documents that we require for the Design Commission that shows you in the top depiction what the existing home looks like, adjacent to the other homes. The home to the right exists, the home to the left does not. And then you can see in that bottom depiction what the proposed building additions would look like on that second home. So the Plan Commission did recommend approval of the rezoning, the preliminary plat of subdivision, as well as the two requested variations. There are a number of conditions that have been attached to their recommendation. Of course, they are required to obtain final subdivision approval before they could move forward. They must pay all required fees in accordance with the village's code. Any above ground utilities need to be located in such a manner to minimize the visual impact and be screened. We also are seeking a landscape plan for the detention basin when they proceed with final plat of subdivision. The Plan Commission did add some additional language to the proposed condition that staff brought forward, which you see there in red, again emphasizing that they would like to see a focus on a mowable landscaping in that detention basin. And then there is a moderate fee in lieu amount that will be required for the detention basin because as currently designed, and again, it's not final, but as currently designed, they are not providing the full volume required by code. So there would be a small fee in lieu that they would pay. And then again, as I mentioned, a Design Commission application required for the home on Lot 1, and then some easements that need to be provided as well. So those are the conditions that the Plan Commission recommended inclusion of. And then the motion before the board this evening would be to direct staff and the village attorney to prepare the documents granting the requested zoning relief for consideration at a future board meeting, as well as the preliminary plat of subdivision and the zoning variances subject to the conditions set forth and the materials in your agenda packet this evening.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ms. Rodman. Is the petitioner in the room? Would you please come up?
Good evening.
Good evening. Could we go back 2 slides? Another one that shows the actual site plan, I'm sorry. This one here. Is it clear, is it correct that the zoning variations that are being requested are for the stormwater site only, that the 2 home sites will remain zoning compliant?
Correct.
So that's why, and that's the one that's what, 60 feet wide, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So we're not asking for variations on the 2 homes, they're compliant.
Those lots will comply with the R3 zoning standards.
Now, can we go forward to the list of recommendations? This one. As a petitioner here tonight, have you read all 9 of these and do you agree with all of them?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything beyond that the staff has shared tonight that you want to add to or change?
No, sir. We've been working on this for the last 2 years, so.
Yes, so you're happy with where it is right now? Staff's done a great job.
Yes, they did.
All right. Are there questions from the board here on this project for anyone? Anyone from the audience?
I actually have a question, actually a follow-up to some of the discussion that went back and forth based on board members' questions earlier today. And the understanding I have from that I kind of want to check out is that MWRD determines the landscaping for that basin. Is that accurate?
You want to take that one, Rob?
Yes, based on soil conditions, detention requirements, a variety of other factors, they determine what types of plant materials and what type of landscaping would be used through the watershed development ordinance.
So is that red line language even operative?
I guess it wouldn't hurt. I don't know that we have a lot of control over that ordinance because they are the authority.
Well, but you just said that it depends on soil conditions and a number of other things that would determine what kind of plants might go in there. Are all those variables known right now? No.
No.
And we'll own this piece of land when it's done and we'll maintain it. So not only is it beneficial for the neighbors who might like to see it just be grass, we would like to see it just be grass probably if we could, because it's easier to maintain. Is that accurate?
Absolutely, and I think, I had a conversation with the director earlier today, and unfortunately, there are a lot of basins that do have a wet bottom, so we did not get what we wanted in those cases, but of course, we would support it. It's just a matter of the fact that we don't have authority over that decision is just what I wanted to make clear.
Does it make sense?
It does make sense, and I think that's why I still ask the question about whether that language is operative, because I think what the commission did was to give the residents, and I understand the concerns, the impression that the village has control and discretion that the village does not have.
As a petitioner, are you clear on what will ultimately determine this?
I understand. I am a little bit confused because the last information that I received from the engineering department was that the bottom of the detention will be grass, and that's what the neighbors would like to see. So I know that this is coming from the engineering department, where the engineering department is getting this information, then it's...
So tonight, what should be clear to tonight is that it's somewhat out of our hands.
Okay.
There are some existing conditions in the soil that will have an impact on this decision, but the decision on what will grow there is going to be made by the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, that's MWRD, not the Village of Arlington Heights. So while we might everybody in this room could agree on one thing, ultimately, the negotiations end on their desk.
Absolutely. We are open for any suggestions. It was the neighbors that did raise a concern, so.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak on this? I see several hands. Before we go down that road, staff had another comment.
I was just going to make there's a tiny distinction that can be made that I think clarifies where the Plan Commission was going, what staff was saying, and what the petitioner is saying is that, generally speaking, MWRD, they're going to require what they're going to require, and our engineering staff works with them often enough and has a pretty good understanding of what they're going to require. And you can make an application that they will deny. You can make an application that goes beyond what you think they will accept. And in this particular case, because of the fact that, the type of, that this is volume control only, and the size of the site, our engineering staff believes that you probably, it's not a waste of effort to propose in the application a dry bottom concept, with the understanding, as Trustee Manganaro said, that it's totally within their purview to say, no, we don't want that. And so there's a little bit of a threading of the needle there that I just wanted to make that point. But that's really what we're looking at here is our engineers feel that probably a dry bottom concept would suffice based on their expertise, but at the end of the day, it's MWRD's call.
Well done. Thanks. Anything else from staff? If not, I saw hands go up. If you want to take a seat, sir. Anyone who wants to offer thoughts on this, please come on up.
We're neighbors.
Okay, very good.
My name is Terry Leach. I live at 1528 South Douglas. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Sure.
I live directly across the street from it. When I saw the sign posted, I wanted to learn more about it. I didn't want to make an uneducated assumption in my mind, so I called the village and spoke with a number of people there. And they told us this lot would look most like 3 different addresses in town. I visited all 3, took pictures of all 3. They are all very wild installations that draw rodents and wild birds and is unsightly. We have luxury homes with very immaculate lawns and immaculate landscaping. And as such, when we drove around town and looked at other places and saw these nice green grass areas, that was what we were hoping. We welcome the new houses. We are not opposed to that, but we would just we understand what you're saying. But if you can make that go through in the right verbiage, that would be terrific.
I think he said thread the needle.
Yes. And if you need to see any pictures I have packets of pictures from all of the retention or detention basins that we looked at, as well as other ones. And I'm happy to hand them out.
Well, maybe you could hand them to our clerk here and she can make sure we all take one home.
I'm Kendall Schaefer, 1536 South Douglas Avenue, so we're a couple houses apart. If you know the property right now, it's actually kind of a little bit of a basin today, and it doesn't collect any water because one of that one house that's right next door, and then the house that's going to be remodeled, redone, is a little bit higher up. So it's already kind of a little bit of basin. Leave it as grass, please, because these basins examples, and I guess the one that's right across from Wayside, and I've already gone over there twice, the one that's across from Wayside, if you guys have seen it, somebody's backyard, or excuse me, side of their house, they seem to have some kind of a patio there. You step a couple of steps and you're going down into the basin, and then it's standing water. And there was ducks paddling around there. I don't have a problem with ducks, but there are geese that are going to follow, and geese are nasty. So yeah, we just needed to leave it as a basin that is something that's not catching water, because right now there's not a lot of water. Yes, I know there's 2 houses that are coming, but you're not seeing a lot of water right now. So hopefully that's what happens. Otherwise, my husband and I are going to be mowing down all those weeds you put in, and we're going to put in the sod. But yeah, it won't look good right in our neighborhood, because we do have beautiful property and very meticulous in the neighborhood, and we want to keep it so.
Well, I appreciate your input, and we all do.
Yeah, and don't be afraid of me, you guys.
Why should we be afraid?
But yeah, so thank you for listening and helping us within our community and all that good stuff, and listening to us. So we really appreciate it.
I think we're all on the same page here together. Thank you. Anyone else that wanted to share a thought on this project? Anyone else on the board? If not, is there a motion to go along with the
Mayor,
staff's comment?
I'm just going to say, I did drive by today and I saw that, it does slope down into that basin area, and I understand also your concerns about the neighborhood and how you care so much for your homes and how they look and how your landscaping looks. So I understand what you're seeing, what you were talking about.
Kudos from coming by. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome. And I guess I will make a motion.
It's all yours.
I move to direct staff and the village attorney to prepare final documents granting the zoning relief for consideration at a future board meeting for PC 25-002, a preliminary plat of subdivision for 2 residential lots and 1 dedicated stormwater detention lot, and the zoning variances requested, and subject to the recommended conditions, all as set forth in the agenda materials for tonight's board meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion made by trustee LaBedz, seconded by trustee Schwingbeck. Any further discussion from anyone in the room? Seeing none. Is this a voice vote?
You could do a voice vote if you like, Mayor.
Let's do a voice vote. Go ahead. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? None? Okay, motion carries. All right, so you're approved. Where did you go? There you are. For the moment, and you'll have a final documents that'll be done and will come before us one more time. Last item on the agenda for new business is 81 West Gulf Road. It's Bish House, PC number 26-003. It's a special use permit. Is the petitioner here? Come on up to the podium. Introduce yourself, please. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rana. I'm here representing Beach House at 81 West Gulf Road. I'm here to request the special use permit for the construction. So we are excited to present our proposal for a special use permit to transform the 6,591 square feet commercial space currently situated at Arlington Heights Town Square and Zone B2. This project more just an interior remodel. It's committed to revitalizing a local space into a modern community-oriented social facility. So what we're looking to build there is the computer gaming space with 80 computers and along with 4 billiard tables. It will be there will be noise control. All gamings will be done with the headphones. No alcohol will be permitted within the space.
Okay. Well, very good. Staff, is there a presentation by Ms. Rodman again?
Yes, I do have a brief presentation.
Please go ahead.
Right. As the petitioner indicated, they are before you this evening requesting a special use permit for what is considered a large amusement facility. Any amusement facility over 5,000 square feet is considered a large facility and requires the special use permit.
So the property, as she indicated, is at 81 West Gulf Road within the Arlington Town Square Shopping Center. You can see in blue there the specific tenant space that they are looking to occupy. The zoning of the property is our B2 General Business District, and under the comp plan is intended to remain a commercial use. And as I mentioned, the requested action is a special use permit for the amusement facility, and they are not requesting any variations this evening. There is an existing variation in place for the shopping center. It is a PUD, and they previously received a variation from the parking requirement to allow for a deficit of 78 parking stalls. You can see in yellow on the screen that the proposed use, Bish House, will require 22 parking stalls, and the existing deficit of 78 stalls will remain. So because they are within the already granted variation, there is not a need to modify or approve a new variation. One thing I will mention, just to clarify related to the use, is that they are proposing 80 computers. So those would be the gaming stations, as the petitioner indicated, that would have headphones associated with them, so the gaming would occur quietly. And they are also proposing 4 billiard tables. The proposed hours of operation are consistent with other commercial uses. They are proposing to be open daily from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. And as she mentioned, they will not be preparing any food on site. They will not be selling any liquor. They will just have some packaged food and beverages available for sale. The Plan Commission, when considering this request, did recommend approval. Just a few conditions attached to the recommendation that included continuing to work with our Building and Life Safety Department to address outstanding issues related to their building permit, which is already under review. Again, restating that they cannot sell any alcohol without first obtaining a liquor license. And then lastly, our standard condition that they must apply with all applicable codes and regulations. So the motion before the board this evening is to direct staff and the village attorney to prepare final documents granting the zoning relief requested, and subject to the recommended conditions and the materials set forth in your agenda this evening. Thank you.
Mayor, can I make one point, particularly
Absolutely.
for the
Go
folks
ahead.
at home? I just want to make it expressly clear that when we're talking about video gaming, we're not talking about video gambling, as we've been talking about in recent meetings. This is playing video games. We just want to make sure.
I think that's well said, well said. And you're not asking for a liquor license right now, but you're aware that that's something that in time, if you felt like it was appropriate, you could certainly ask for that. Not
Yes.
that you would automatically get it, but it's certainly something.
Yeah, but we are not planning.
Not right now. Very good. Okay. Questions from the board? Anyone? Trustee LaBedz.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing the business to Arlington Heights. I'm not sure that we have anything like this in town. And so it sounds like it's, because you won't be serving alcohol, that teens and, people under 21 certainly be welcome.
Absolutely, yeah, and we will have the staff available all the time to watch everyone.
So I was reading through the material, and it sounds like you people would, I don't know if the word's rent, but would sign up for use of the terminal for a specific period of time?
Yep.
Okay. And then would you, I know you said that you will have some drinks and packaged goods available. You don't have to say whether it's vending machines or not, but it sounds like vending machine.
Yeah, it will be something like vending machines.
Would people be allowed to bring in from the surrounding restaurants? I'm just curious because there's so many food places
Yeah,
in
there is a food
Arlington.
places around, but no food will be allowed.
Okay.
And then no alcohols on site.
Right, right. Well, I guess you want to make sure nothing spills on the
Yeah.
computers. So, okay, well, sounds very good, and I'd be happy to make a motion.
Please do.
I move to direct staff and the village attorney to prepare final documents granting the zoning relief for consideration at a future board meeting for PC 26-003, a special use permit for an amusement facility large in the B2 General Business District and subject to the recommended conditions, all as set forth in the agenda materials for tonight's board meeting.
Second. Motion made by trustee LaBedz, seconded by trustee Zyck. Any further discussion? Trustee Schwingbeck?
Thank you, Mayor.
Just so I understand, the age group, we talked, Trustee LaBedz talked a little bit about it. What is the age group that's going to be able to use this facility?
18 plus.
18 plus?
Yes.
Okay. All the way up to adults that
Yes,
are
yes, all the way up to adults.
much older? Like
Well,
40s, 50s?
Yeah, whoever plays the
90-year-old.
games.
And you're gonna, just so I understand the business model, you said you're charging to use the gaming stations.
Yes.
And then if people want to come in and just play pool, you're gonna charge an entry fee to,
The pool is different, so they just gonna rent a pool or they gonna rent a computer to play.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Gilbert?
Thanks for doing this. I think this is a pretty cool idea. So I thought I read somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought there was a family element to this, because I know your hours are like noon to 10 or 11, I believe. Like, are kids allowed to come in and use the pool table or not at all?
Kids, like, depending on the age, it will be 18 plus.
So could I bring my kids in there to play pool?
I believe, yes, it shouldn't be any problems.
Okay. And one of the reasons I asked is I'm just curious what your plans are for security at the facility. You know, and in terms of that, if there's families in there and kids using these, what kind of materials are people going to be able to use on those computers? You know, is there any type of separation between the billiard area and the computer area? You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there will be a separating walls between the computer area and the billiard tables.
Okay.
And then as far as the computer games go, like, are you wondering if the kids will be able to use the computers?
Well, I understand that the kids probably won't be able
Yeah.
to, but what I'm, concerned with is if people are allowed to view illicit material on your computers while the kids are running around the facility playing pool, would that be some sort of a conflict or an issue, or have you thought about that in terms of the way you're going to do this? Are the monitors and the machines regulated in terms of sites they can go to? Is it just specific? So it's just specific games that people can play in these?
Yep.
Like what kind of games?
Like something like GTA or let me read the games 1 second.
I'm going to guess it's probably like
Call of
Fortnite,
Duty,
Minecraft, Call of
something
Duty.
like
Okay,
this,
yeah,
yeah.
the usual gamut of
Yeah.
games. I'm familiar with
you do
that.
on Friday nights.
Vegan
boys.
I used to play every once in a while. I didn't need another level of frustration. I'm no good at these things, so I prefer the regular stuff, board games per se. I'm just, again, I'm kind of trying to piggyback off of what Trustee Schwingbeck here said, and just trying to envision what type of who this is going to attract, who's supposed to be coming in. If it's just 18 plus adults that are looking to game in a room with other gamers, or if people are supposed to bring their families in to play pool, or because it's very difficult to find a pool table in this town right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you sell alcohol, you can't have a pool table. Is that correct? Do we still have that ordinance on the books?
No, you can have a pool, I mean, Ale House has pool tables and obviously sells alcohol.
Yeah, that's that, and I mean the VFW, but we know that they're kind of a different, different special thing. So, okay, so again, just tell me who is this facility for?
It's mostly for the adults, 18 plus again. It's like for the people who don't know where to go. Like small companies would come and play the games, or there will be a marathon on the pool, like something like that.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here.
Anyone else?
Yeah, please. I think this is a great model and a great fit, as there was some discussion in the commissions in that center. I've really seen that develop with businesses that are kind of mutually supporting, and really can't wait to see you open, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Anyone in the audience? We don't have a second?
Do have audience?
Oh, I see a hand in the audience. Come on up. Did you not make a motion?
I'm just wondering what you, if you're prepared to, in terms of security, to make sure that nobody is plugging anything in like a USB that might have malicious malware or something like that for your computers.
Thank you for your question. Yeah, we'll have the IT specialist working on the security, so that will be handled.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Did we have a motion and a second?
Yeah, I made the motion, and
And trustee Zyck made the second. Okay, got it. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None, motion carries. Okay, so you are approved too. And again, there'll be a further documentation for the special use that'll come before us one more time, and to just stay in touch with staff on that. Okay? Congratulations, and best of luck to you. Anything further from the manager?
I would just respectfully request that the board enter into closed session per 5 ILCS 120/2C11 litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the village has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the board finds that an action is probable or imminent.
Okay, do we have such a motion?
So moved.
Move. Second.
Made by trustee Zyck, seconded by trustee Manganaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right, Mayor, you need a roll call vote.
Oh, it's a roll call vote. I'm sorry. Don't stand up yet. Go ahead, Maggie.
Trustee Zyck,
Yes.
trustee Manganaro.
Aye.
Trustee Bertucci,
Yes.
trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes?
trustee Santa Maria,
Yes.
trustee Gilbert,
Yes.
trustee LaBedz,
yes.
president Tinaglia.
Yes. Okay, we are in closed session and we will not be reporting out. Thank you, everyone.